온 세상이 만선이던 여름.
Ever wonder why your watch list is full of zombie stories, survival thrillers, and chaebol love tales? It's all thanks to the groundbreaking hits that set the stage and changed K-dramas for good. Take Kingdom, for example. This wasn't just a historical drama with court politics, nor was it just another zombie horror. It was both, and it was spectacular. By fusing palace intrigue with a terrifying undead plague, Kingdom redefined what a K-drama could be. Starring Ju Ji-hoon as a crown prince racing against time to uncover the truth behind the outbreak, Kingdom delivered pulse-pounding action, intricate palace intrigue, and stunning cinematography that elevated it far beyond a typical zombie series. And of course, success breeds inspiration. After Kingdom, K-dramas started pushing the boundaries of survival horror. All of Us Are Dead threw the zombie outbreak into a high school, turning it into a brutal coming-of-age nightmare. Happiness took a psychological turn, locking residents inside an apartment complex with infected neighbors, making paranoia just as dangerous as the virus itself. But Kingdom's impact wasn't just about zombies. It made the idea of fast-spreading plagues a go-to plot device, inspiring shows like Sweet Home and The Silent Sea, which explored infection and transformation in eerie, unpredictable ways. More than anything, Kingdom proved that K-dramas could rival Hollywood not just in storytelling, but in sheer scale and execution. This wasn't your typical TV drama. It was a full-blown cinematic experience, with breathtaking cinematography, large-scale battle sequences, and top-tier production design that could easily go head-to-head with any big-budget Hollywood thriller. It set a new benchmark for what K-dramas could achieve on a global scale. But while Kingdom set the stage for high-stakes, survival-driven storytelling, Squid Game took it to another level. This was the moment Korean storytelling went fully mainstream, reaching viewers who had never even considered watching a K-drama before. After Squid Game, survival-themed K-dramas exploded in popularity. Shows like Alice in Borderland and The Devil's Plan tapped into that same high-stakes, winner-takes-all energy, drawing audiences who craved nerve-wracking tension and unpredictable twists. More recently, The 8 Show took inspiration from Squid Game's critique of economic disparity, placing characters in a deadly reality show where their suffering fuels entertainment for the wealthy. But Squid Game didn't just redefine survival-driven storytelling in K-dramas, it proved that the genre itself had the power to dominate the global stage. Suddenly, K-dramas weren't just being watched worldwide, they were being produced with international audiences in mind. Streaming giants like Netflix poured even more resources into Korean content, leading to ambitious projects like Hellbound, The Glory, and Gyeongsong Creature, all of which pushed genre boundaries in ways that Hollywood rarely dared. The industry embraced bigger risks, more daring narratives, and deeper explorations of societal issues, proving that K-dramas could be just as thought-provoking, grand, and thrilling as any Hollywood blockbuster. And with that shift, K-dramas began embracing another major evolution: the rise of the anti-hero protagonist. There was a time when most hit series had to feature clean-cut, morally upright leads to win audiences over. But then came Vincenzo, and everything changed. While anti-heroes weren't entirely new in Korean dramas, Vincenzo took the concept mainstream. Song Joong-ki's portrayal of Vincenzo Cassano, a mafia consigliere who administers his own brand of justice, offered audiences something fresh, a lead who wasn't bound by conventional morality. Cunning, ruthless, and willing to go to extreme lengths to take down villains, Vincenzo was a character unlike any other at the time. Audiences embraced this new kind of protagonist, and soon, similar themes emerged across multiple dramas. Taxi Driver introduced an underground vigilante justice system, with Lee Jae-hoon's character taking revenge on criminals who had escaped the law. Big Mouth followed Lee Jong-suk's transformation from a framed lawyer into a brilliant strategist forced to outwit a corrupt world. Meanwhile, The Glory took revenge dramas to a new level, with Song Hye-kyo's character meticulously dismantling those who had wronged her in the past. What Vincenzo proved was that audiences love a protagonist who isn't afraid to break the rules, especially when they're up against villains who are far worse. Now, let's head over to the romantic comedy department. Since we're already talked about Squid Game, let's shift the spotlight to the actor behind The Recruiter, Gong Yoo, who, long before handing out mysterious invitations, starred in one of the most iconic K-dramas that helped cement a classic trope in the K-drama world: the gender-bender romance. Back in 2007, the idea of a girl disguising herself as a boy just to get a job at a coffee shop might have seemed a little out there, but Coffee Prince pulled it off in a way that felt raw, emotional, and deeply romantic. It wasn't just about the fun of mistaken identity. It explored self-discovery, attraction, and the idea that love isn't bound by labels. With its heartfelt storytelling, Coffee Prince became a defining moment for genderbender K-dramas and an unforgettable love story. And its impact didn't stop there. It paved the way for future genderbender dramas like To the Beautiful You, Love in the Moonlight, and the international Emmy Award-winning drama The King's Affection, proving that K-dramas could dive into complex themes while still being wildly entertaining and just as swoon-worthy. But if we're talking about classic romance tropes in K-dramas, there's one that truly took the genre to another level: the chaebol romance. And if there's a single drama that turned this trope into a full-blown global obsession, it's Boys Over Flowers. This drama was everything. Over the top, dramatic, sometimes completely unrealistic, but it was absolutely addictive. It had all the makings of a classic guilty pleasure: a cold, arrogant chaebol heir, a strong-willed but struggling heroine, a love triangle for the ages, and of course, those unforgettable second lead moments that still haunt fans to this day. But more than just a romance, Boys Over Flowers was a cultural moment. The rich guy meets poor girl trope exploded after this, cementing chaebol romances as a K-drama staple. The heirs took it up a notch with a high school setting and an all-star cast led by Lee Min-ho and Park Shin-hye. Secret Garden added a fantasy twist with body swapping, while My Secret Romance gave the trope a modern Cinderella spin with a one-night-stand-turned love affair. More recently, Business Proposal kept the magic alive with a fresh, comedic take, proving that even years after Boys Over Flowers, the chaebol romance formula still works like a charm. Sure, it's been called cliché or overused, but let's be honest. Once you've fallen for the irresistible charm of a chaebol romance, there's really no turning back. Of course, romance kdrama aren't just about love stories and dramatic twists. These days, they're setting trends in a whole new way, through fashion. Sometimes, we're just as excited to see what the female lead is wearing as we are about the storyline itself. A stylish protagonist can turn a drama into a full-on fashion event, and the latest trendsetter to have K-drama fans eagerly awaiting each episode just to see her wardrobe? Kim Ji-won in Queen of Tears. And who do we have to thank for this fashion it-girl phenomenon in K-dramas? None other than My Love from the Star. This drama didn't just give us an unforgettable love story, it introduced the K-drama fashion queen with Jun Ji-hyun's iconic portrayal of Cheon Song-yi. She wasn't just the sassy, scene-stealing female lead, she was a full-fledged style icon. With her designer wardrobe, bold makeup, and effortlessly chic aura, Cheon Song-yi set trends across Asia. The Song-yi lipstick craze had fans rushing to buy her signature shade, while her oversized coats, statement outfits, and high-fashion looks redefined what it meant to be a glamorous K-drama heroine. Since then, fashion-forward female leads have become a K-drama staple. Sun Ye-jin's elegant, sophisticated looks in Crash Landing on You sparked another wave of style obsession, while Seo Ye-ji's dramatic, couture-like outfits in It's Okay to Not Be Okay took K-drama fashion to an entirely new level. IU's breathtaking wardrobe in Hotel Del Luna also left a lasting impact, with her character Jang Man-wol serving ethereal, vintage-inspired luxury in every scene. But beyond the it-girl fashionistas, K-dramas have also embraced a different kind of female lead, the strong yet relatable protagonist who breaks away from the overly fragile or impossibly glamorous heroines. And for that, we have weightlifting fairy Kim Bok-joo to thank. This heartwarming drama gave us a female lead who wasn't defined by high heels and designer bags, but by her strength, dreams, and endearing charm. Bok-joo, played by Lee Sung-kyung, was clumsy, competitive, and wonderfully awkward, just like any young woman figuring out life. She had big ambitions as a weightlifter, struggled with self-esteem, and navigated friendships, family, and first love in the most refreshingly authentic way. Weightlifting fairy Kim Bok-joo proved that a drama didn't need a chaebol love story or a Cinderella transformation to be compelling. Instead, it showed that everyday struggles, self-acceptance, friendships, and growing pains could be just as captivating as long as they were told with heart. The success of weightlifting fairy Kim Bok-joo paved the way for more dramas that embraced this approach. Be Melodramatic took it further by focusing on 3 women in their 30s, each dealing with career struggles, heartbreak, and the messy reality of adulthood in a hilariously relatable way. It proved that female-led stories could be raw, funny, and deeply moving without relying on over-the-top dramatics. But while some dramas kept things grounded and heartwarming, others leaned into the extreme. And that brings us to the grand revival of makjang, the gloriously over-the-top, emotionally charged genre that thrives on revenge, scandals, and jaw-dropping twists. While makjang dramas have always been around, they were more of an acquired taste, often flying under the radar. A prime example is the 2008 hit Temptation of Wife, which helped define the genre. But for a while, makjang dramas became less common, with fewer mainstream titles embracing full-blown chaos, until The Penthouse came along and brought the genre roaring back to life. It had everything: murders, secret identities, power struggles, and intense showdowns that left audiences gasping. It was so extra, and that's exactly why people couldn't get enough of it. Naturally, The Penthouse's success flung the doors wide open for more over-the-top dramas. Soon, we had Sky Castle making parents fight to the death over elite school admissions, The Last Empress serving up royal family scandals, and the world of the married turning marital betrayal into something more than just tears and divorce. If there was one lesson in all of this, it was simple. When it comes to makjang, more is more. But K-dramas weren't just redefining romance and makjang, they were also transforming crime thrillers. And the show that completely changed the game? Signal. Before this show, crime K-dramas mostly stuck to gritty realism, focusing on police work, forensic science, and psychological profiling. But Signal flipped the script by proving that you could add fantasy elements, like time travel, without losing the tension and heart-pounding twists of a crime thriller. Its premise? A profiler in the present teams up with a detective in the past, using a mysterious radio that defies the laws of time. Together, they solve cold cases. Except every action in the past has ripple effects on the future, making the stakes insanely high. And guess what? It worked. Signal was such a hit that it kickstarted an entire wave of time-bending crime thrillers. Tunnel sent a detective from the 80s straight into the present. Train played with parallel universes. My Perfect Stranger combined time travel with a murder mystery. What Signal proved was simple. Crime thrillers didn't have to stay grounded in realism to keep us on the edge of our seats. Sometimes, a supernatural twist made things even better. Now that we're diving into time travel, let's talk about another genre that has taken off in recent years: nostalgic slice-of-life dramas. And who do we have to thank for that? Reply 1997. Slice-of-life dramas have always had a special charm, but Reply 1997 took it to a new level by proving that the simplest, most everyday moments could be just as compelling as any high-stakes drama. There were no chaebols, no fantasy twists, just a heartfelt, down-to-earth story about youth, friendships, family, and the growing pains of life. At its core, the drama captured the beauty of ordinary moments, the excitement of rushing home to catch your favorite idol on TV, the awkwardness of teenage crushes, the unspoken bonds between childhood friends, and the irreplaceable warmth of home. The drama jumped between past and present, making viewers reflect on how much life changes, and how some things, like love and friendship, stay the same no matter how much time passes. It was raw, funny, and deeply personal, making people see pieces of their own youth in the story. Its success paved the way for Reply 1994 and Reply 1988, both of which expanded on the slice-of-life magic. Reply 1988, in particular, became a cultural touchstone by shifting the focus beyond just youth and romance. It was a drama that made you laugh one minute and tear up the next, not because of dramatic twists, but because of how beautifully it captured the small, fleeting moments of everyday life, ones that often mean the most in the end. And now, we have the latest addition to this nostalgia-filled lineup, When Life Gives You Tangerines. Much like its predecessors, this drama moves seamlessly between the past and present, delivering heartfelt storytelling that tugs at our emotions and, at times, even brings us to tears. But nostalgia isn't the only thing making a comeback. Another genre that has found new life in recent years is sitcom-style K-dramas. These aren't just lighthearted dramas with funny moments. They're packed with over-the-top humor, eccentric but lovable characters, and everyday chaos that turns even the most mundane situations into comedy gold. Among the dramas that revived this genre, Welcome to Waikiki led the way. Unlike traditional sitcoms that focus solely on laughs, sitcom-style K-dramas bring fully developed plots, well-rounded characters with real aspirations, and a warmth that keeps viewers invested beyond just the comedy. Welcome to Waikiki embodied all of this, delivering a roller coaster of hilarious moments while making us genuinely root for its struggling yet endearing main characters. Set in a failing guest house run by three friends desperate to make something of themselves, the show thrived on absurd but strangely relatable scenarios, from bizarre part-time jobs to laugh-out-loud misunderstandings. But what made it truly special was its ability to mix outrageous comedy with heartwarming moments about friendship, perseverance, and chasing dreams. It reminded audiences just how fun and refreshing a purely comedic drama could be, without sacrificing solid storytelling. Following its success, several other dramas embraced this unique comedic approach. Goss Electronics brought office life to the sitcom realm, while Soul Busters combined crime and comedy, following a ragtag police unit full of misfits. These shows proved that sitcom-style K-dramas could take on different settings and still deliver the same energetic, feel-good humor. Of course, these shifts in storytelling weren't the only game changers. How K-dramas were made also went through a massive transformation. For years, most K-dramas followed a live shoot system, where scripts were still being written while episodes aired. It allowed for flexibility, sure, but it also meant frantic rewrites, overworked actors, and, in some cases, finales that felt like they were pieced together at the last minute. But Descendants of the Sun broke the mold by filming everything up to the finale before airing, a bold move at the time. Unlike its predecessors, this drama had every scene locked in, ensuring a polished story, stunning cinematography, and, most importantly, no last-minute chaos. The payoff? A global phenomenon that not only dominated ratings, but also set a new industry standard. Its massive success convinced major productions to follow suit. Goblin and Mr. Sunshine embraced pre-production and delivered cinematic quality storytelling. Now, some of the most ambitious K-dramas like Sweet Home and Queen of Tears owe their seamless execution to this game-changing shift. That said, the live shoot system hasn't completely disappeared. Many dramas, especially those that need to gauge audience reactions, still stick to it. But Descendants of the Sun proved that pre-production isn't just possible. It's a powerful alternative that allows K-dramas to rival Hollywood productions in quality, scale, and storytelling precision. These are just some of the K-dramas that reshaped the industry, but the best part? K-dramas never stop evolving. Whether it's finding fresh twists on beloved tropes or setting the stage for the next cultural sensation, one thing's for sure, there's always another unforgettable series right around the corner. Now that we've covered the K-dramas that changed the game, let's shine a spotlight on the stars who made them unforgettable. Want to see who tops our list of the most talented actors? Click on the next video to find out.